What's up, guys? So I've talked about this before on my channel, but the last time I talked about it was when it was the summer 2016 Olympics, so there will be connections to that at some point in this video, whether it's a card up in the corner or it's a specific suggested video at the end of this one. Or there's always, links down below, or you can just click on the channel and, find it that way. But the way that the media covers Olympics, for whatever reason, this particular round of Winter Olympics feels different than other Winter Olympics in years past. I don't know, it feels like the way that the media covers the Winter Olympics is vastly different than the way that that the Summer Olympics are covered. And I think because of that, that's part of the reason why NBC is seeing such record lows in watching, in viewership. And so, in the Winter Olympics defense, there are significantly less events compared to summer. Because, I dug into this just a little. The Winter Olympics only has 15 sports with, only so many different disciplines and variations, where the Summer Olympics has 46. So you already are tripling the amount of opportunities that you could see just with the different kinds of sports possible. There's part of the quote disadvantage, but it's not really a disadvantage. They're honestly just as interesting as the summer, because even with the Summer Olympics, they don't even cover all of the sports in their prime time highlights of things. You only really get to hear about some of the other sports if there's somebody who has actually made a name for themselves in that sport. And to an extent, that's also true of the Winter Olympics, because it's not like we're sitting here getting a ton of information about curling. Now, there has become this fascination with the sport of curling because it's so different than any other that, they're paying attention to it. But it's not in the Summer Olympics, you're not going to get updates on how rowing went or canoe slaloms or whatever they is not your swimming, your gymnastics, your marathon, your track. You're just not getting that. And so that's where the way that, NBC has kind of adapted. So here's a plus for NBC. With their streaming platform Peacock, they can at least guarantee that people will probably pay for the premium in order to be able to get the most of their Olympic experience out of it, because you get the opportunity to rewatch things. So if you by chance happen to fall asleep before you could see the event that you wanted to see, you have the opportunity to see it. I don't know, I feel like there was just significantly less interest in the 2022 Olympics. Now, I know that there was a little bit of political drama because they were talking about it a little bit before the opening ceremonies, how the fact that there is no US diplomat that is making an appearance. Even the majority of the people who are covering the Olympics aren't even in Beijing. They're still here in the US. And I think that also creates a level of disadvantage. Now, I don't know how much of that is because it seems like there's still a lot of COVID-related boundaries and barriers that exist. And so that could also be part of it. But I still feel like even though we just got what was supposed to be the 2020 Summer Olympics just, 6 months ago, it feels like the coverage is just drastically different. I also feel like most of the coverage has been centered on really 3. I've only in all of the posts that I saw leading up to the Olympics, I really only ever saw 3 different athletes really be highlighted, and that was Chloe Kim, Nathan Chen, and Shaun White. And all 3 are amazing athletes. But I feel like we're missing some of the other stories, which is something that I talked about in my summer 2016 Olympic media video, where it's just there are there are so many other athletes' stories that I think are missing. I don't know. I feel like we're missing something. Something feels like it's missing from this Olympics. What are your thoughts on the way that the media is covering it? Do you feel like they are doing it as best as they can because of the parameters that they have? Or do you feel like they have kind of dropped the ball, which is then therefore their own fault for the viewership not being what they were hoping it would be? Let me know in the comments below. But that's it for me. I will see you next video. Bye. Don't